I never thought I'd be the type of guy to write one of these posts. But after everything that happened, I can't keep it inside anymore. Maybe writing it all down will help me process it. Maybe someone will read this and learn from my mistake. Or maybe I just don't want to carry the weight alone anymore. I'll start at the beginning. Her name was Emily. We'd been dating for almost 3 years when all of this went down. She wasn't just my girlfriend, she was my best friend, my partner, the person I trusted more than anyone. I really thought she was the one. We'd already talked about marriage, kids, buying a house together someday. She even had Pinterest boards of wedding dresses and house decor saved, and sometimes she'd tease me by showing them. It all felt so real, so solid. So when I booked us a trip to the Maldives, it wasn't just a vacation. It was supposed to be the trip, the one where I showed her how serious I was. I thought about proposing there. Sunset on the beach, just the two of us with the ocean stretching endlessly in front of us. I couldn't imagine a better setting. From the moment we landed, the Maldives felt like another world. Crystal clear water that looked fake, like it had been photoshopped. White sand so soft it felt unreal. Our resort was a dream, an overwater villa with a glass floor, private deck, and endless views of the ocean. It should have been paradise, but almost immediately things felt off. Emily was excited at first, taking a million photos for Instagram, making little videos for TikTok. She posed in every corner of the villa, every angle of the beach. She wanted everything documented. I didn't think much of it at first. That's just how people are these days, right? But after a while, I noticed she cared more about getting the perfect shot than about actually being there with me. At dinner the first night, she barely looked at me. She kept glancing at her phone, laughing at messages, typing quickly, and then flipping the screen over when I looked. When I asked who it was, she said, "Just my friend Sarah," and brushed it off. I wanted to believe her. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was just stressed from the long flight. But the signs kept coming. On the second day, we signed up for a snorkeling trip. We were supposed to go together, but at the last minute, she said she wasn't feeling well. I went alone, disappointed but understanding. When I got back to the villa a few hours later, she wasn't there. I found her down by the bar, laughing with one of the instructors, a tall guy with tan skin and an easy smile. When I walked up, she introduced him as Mark, like they were already friends, and she was glowing in a way I hadn't seen in months. That night, she said she was tired and went to bed early. I lay next to her, staring at the ceiling fan, trying to shake off the unease in my gut. But it only got worse. She started making excuses to go off on her own, to take pictures, to walk on the beach, to clear her head. Each time she'd come back looking flushed, happy, almost guilty, and each time she had some excuse ready. By day 4, I couldn't ignore it anymore. Something was happening. I didn't know exactly what, but I knew it wasn't just in my head. And as much as I wanted to believe we were still in paradise, deep down I knew paradise was slipping through my fingers. By the 5th day, I couldn't deny it anymore. Something was seriously wrong. Emily was there with me physically, but emotionally, she was somewhere else, with someone else. That morning, I woke up early. The sun was just rising, casting pink light across the water, and the villa was quiet. Emily wasn't in bed. I told myself she might have gone to watch the sunrise on the deck, but when I checked, she wasn't there either. Her phone was on the nightstand. She almost never left it behind. My heart pounded in my chest as I stared at it. I'd never gone through her stuff before. I'd always prided myself on trusting her. But something inside me snapped. I needed to know. I picked it up. My hands were shaking as I opened it. No password. She'd always insisted she had nothing to hide. But when I opened her messages, I saw the truth. Dozens of texts. Not from Sarah, from Mark. "Meet me after he falls asleep. You looked incredible today. I can't stop thinking about you. I'll be at the bar at midnight."
And her replies, full of emojis and hearts, things she hadn't sent me in months. I felt my stomach drop. My chest tightened until I could barely breathe. The world spun around me as I scrolled, reading message after message, each one another knife in my back. I threw the phone back on the bed like it had burned me. My hands were cold, my head pounding. I told myself there had to be an explanation, but there wasn't. It was all there in black and white. Later that day, I tried to act normal. I wanted to catch her in the act, not just confront her with words she could dismiss as just texting. I needed undeniable proof. That evening, she said she wanted to go for a walk. My chest tightened. I told her I was tired and would stay in. She kissed me quickly on the cheek, a meaningless, distracted gesture, and slipped out the door. 10 minutes later, I followed. The resort was quiet, lanterns glowing softly along the wooden walkways that connected the villas. I moved silently, my heart hammering in my chest. I saw her ahead, walking quickly toward the bar area. I kept my distance, staying in the shadows. And then I saw him, Mark, waiting for her. She ran up to him, smiling, throwing her arms around his neck, and then they kissed. Not a quick peck, a full, passionate kiss, like they'd been starving for each other, like I didn't even exist. I froze, my knees nearly buckled under me, my vision blurred with tears I refused to let fall. Every cell in my body screamed to storm over there to tear them apart, to demand answers, but I couldn't move. I just stood there, watching the woman I loved melt into another man's arms under the Maldivian moonlight. They sat at the bar together, their bodies pressed close, whispering, laughing, touching. She played with his hand, leaned into his shoulder, kissed him like it was the most natural thing in the world. And me? I felt like I was watching my own funeral. I stumbled back to the villa, numb. I don't even remember walking. My mind was gone spinning, replaying the image of her lips on his over and over again. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the glass floor beneath me where fish swam obliviously in the clear water. This was supposed to be the happiest trip of our lives. Instead, it was where everything shattered. When she came back later that night, she smelled like rum and sunscreen. She curled up next to me, kissed my neck, whispered, "I love you." I didn't respond, because in that moment, I realized something brutal. The girl I loved wasn't mine anymore. Maybe she never had been. And the worst part? Tomorrow, I'd have to face her.
The next morning, I woke up before Emily again. I lay there in bed, staring at the ceiling, my chest heavy, my throat dry. I knew what I had to do. Pretending nothing happened was no longer an option. When she stirred awake, she smiled at me like everything was normal. "Morning," she said softly, stretching before reaching over to kiss me. I pulled away. Her face dropped instantly. "What's wrong?" I sat up, my hands shaking. "Cut the act, Emily. I know." She blinked, her expression confused. "Know what?" I laughed bitterly. "About you and Mark. The messages, the bar, the kiss, all of it." The blood drained from her face. For a second, she looked like a statue, frozen in shock. Then the excuses came rushing out. "It's not what you think. It was just flirting. I had too much to drink." I cut her off. Don't insult me like that. I saw you with him. I read everything. You don't get to twist this." Her eyes filled with tears. She grabbed my hand, trying to force me to look at her. "Please, it didn't mean anything. It was just a mistake. I love you. I want us." I pulled my hand back. My voice was low, steady, colder than I'd ever heard it. "If you loved me, this wouldn't have happened. You don't accidentally sneak out at midnight to kiss another man.
You don't lie to the person you claim to love." She broke down, sobbing. "Please, please don't leave me. I'll fix it. I swear. He means nothing." But her words were hollow. I'd seen the way she looked at him, the way she glowed when she was with him. That wasn't nothing. That was something. Something she'd stolen from us. The rest of the trip was hell. I couldn't get an earlier flight out without paying thousands, so I stayed. We barely spoke. She cried every night, begged me to forgive her. I stayed silent. I wasn't interested in her apologies anymore. I was mourning the death of the relationship I thought was unbreakable. When we finally flew home, the silence between us was louder than the engines. At the airport, I told her it was over. She tried again, one last desperate plea, but I walked away. I left her standing there with her suitcase and her tears. It's been months now. I still see her face sometimes when I close my eyes, not the face of the woman I loved, but the face I saw when she kissed him, when she thought no one was watching. That image is burned into me. People always say the Maldives are paradise, and maybe they are. But for me, they'll always be the place where paradise ended. And if you're reading this, take it from me. If you feel something is off, if your gut is screaming at you, listen. Because love can blind you, but the truth always finds a way to show itself. And when it does, it changes everything.